DuckTalks is part of Res TV's network of podcasts. Check out res.tv for other great podcasts.
Phone! Okay, what do we got? Some kind of death trap?
We can use this to signal for help.
Yes! Rup!
Or you could call somebody with it.
Ow! Hey! A phone!
Launchpad!
This is he.
It's the week of Wednesday, June the 6th, and you're listening to episode 26 of DuckTalks. Hey there, this is Mitch, and you're listening to the podcast known as DuckTalks. Welcome back, or I guess welcome for the first time if you've just found us. We have noticed those download numbers going up, so it's possible this is the first time you're listening to our podcast, so welcome. And for all of you who have been here every week since the beginning, thank you very much. I'm not alone, never alone, don't like to do this alone. Did that once, it was very awkward. You guys should be very thankful that Pirate Steven's with me. How you doing, Pirate?
Ahoy there, Mitch. It's been a ducktastic month so far. We're in the month of June already. It's amazing. I can't believe we're already almost halfway through the year. So this is crazy. Not almost, but we are halfway through the year. Yeah. I'm excited for this show. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. And it's funny that I feel like some of our best shows is when there's no episode to talk about.
You know, I sat down to put the notes together, and, you know, our blog, DuckTalks.com, plug. Our blog's a great resource for us when it comes time for our podcast, but I'm looking at everything going, how have we not covered this stuff in the weeks past? There's so much to talk about.
Yeah, luckily we get to it pretty fast on the blog, but it's fun to go over it in our voices.
Yeah, just chat about it. Hey, guess what? We don't have to chat just the two of us either. We can invite Josh over and have him stop just sitting there in silence waiting. What's up, Josh?
I'm just going to walk in like, hey guys, how's it going?
Oh, look, Josh is here.
How does the show me? What's up?
We're like 15 minutes into the show. Oh, Josh.
Oh, yeah, we forgot about Josh.
How's it going, guys?
Oh, it's going peachy. I drove through Georgia recently, so got that on my mind.
Just ducky.
So let's get into all of this news. There's not a lot of duck merch. I actually did not look again today on some of those dates. I know stuff's coming out in July. I can't remember anything coming out this month.
Well, this week we have that new DuckTales Volume 2 DVD.
Oh, I stand corrected. That is this month.
So this Tuesday, DuckTales Destination Adventures is the name of it, of this particular volume. Has a bunch of different episodes and two classic bonus feature episodes from the 1987 version. Do you have those? Do you want to read those off of what is included?
Yeah, I'm pulling that up right now because I saw that earlier, and there's a ton of episodes on there.
Yeah, I know the Volume 1 just had the pilot episode on there, which is really 2 episodes, but this one seemed to have like 4 or 5 plus the 2 bonus ones. So there's definitely a good value because the retail price you'll find these in the stores is like $10.
DuckTales Destination Adventure is out June the 5th, and it will include the episodes from the new show, The Beagle Birthday Breakout. Ooh, they did change that name. We had heard that rumor. Had you heard that rumor? I heard that rumor.
I heard that rumor.
So it used to be The Beagle Birthday Massacre, and we had heard that Disney was kind of requesting everyone to change it. I did check my provider, and it is still listed as Massacre there, but this listing has it as Breakout. So maybe that change is happening. The Living Mummies of Toth Ra. If those are mummies, I'd hate to see the daddies. The Impossible Summit of Mount Everest. The Spear of Selene. And the Missing Links of Morshire. We keep saying Morshire, but they kept saying Morshire in the show, so we're going to go with that. And also Beware the Buddy System.
Yeah,
they're pretty much catching up with all the episodes then, right?
Yeah. So we had one, and that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're missing a few.
Oh, there's still.
The Mark Beeks episode isn't here. McMystery at McDuck McManor. I hate that title. Isn't here. So there's a few of them not here, but this is huge. Plus you've got the 2 previously unreleased classic episodes. They're listed here under bonus features, the new Gizmo Kids on the Block and Ducky Mountain High. I know that a certain friend of the show, KC, is excited about this because it is a Gizmo Duck episode and a Bubba episode.
So is their plan, because they didn't release all the original episodes of DuckTales, to just kind of slightly release these over a period of time with the new DuckTales episodes?
I hope not.
Here's how it works. So they release these best of volume compilations, and then Pirate Steven buys them all. And then after I will have owned them all, they will release the golden edition of DuckTales, and then the diamond edition, and the platinum and signature, and it goes on and on.
And you have to buy each one.
That is the release schedule.
You know, I'm still kicking myself for not getting into digital sooner, because I have a pretty good collection of Blu-ray / DVDs that I don't have the digital for, and of course they're all $20 when I could have gotten it for what, $5 more,
Right.
on theatrical releases. Well, that looks like a good release. Just a reminder, that's June 5th, so that's going to be this Tuesday. That's when movies come out, right, for home release? That's what you said.
That's what I said. Yeah, Tuesdays are usually for movies. That's what you said.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
So pick that up. Target typically has those. I know I've seen it at I've seen the premiere episode at Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart, Best Buy, you can get it on Amazon.
I'm pretty sure we've got a pre-order link that we will include in the show notes, and we'll write up something real quick for the blog with these episode names, because I haven't gotten to that today. So that's all for Duck merch, right?
That's it. Yeah, we're still waiting for official releases of the Funko plushies, but they should be out soon. The Powerline Pop is out there. I'm seeing people pick that up. Still got to get mine. Josh, you got yours, right?
Yep, I got mine sitting right here.
Fantastic.
You know what's funny is, like, I went to there, and I know it's been out for a week or two, and there were 2 on the shelves, and I'm looking at them. I'm trying to pick the best one. I'm like, okay, I'm going to pick this one. And as soon as I decided which one I picked to put the other one back, and somebody else nabbed the second one that was sitting there. So it's pretty high demand.
They're probably creeping you, and they saw that you had 2 in your hands, and they were trying to see when you were going to drop.
Yeah.
I have got to get my Hot Topic. I attempted it on my vacation, and it didn't work out. But I got a coupon for my birthday from Hot Topic for $5 off. So score on the $7.99 when I can get by there.
Yeah, for sure.
I also, and this is kind of news for us as well, for Duck merch, I also have a coupon for my birthday. If you don't know this, get on these newsletters. Boxed Lunch sent me a $5 coupon for my birthday, and I tweeted at them this week. I don't remember if it's today or not. It's kind of crazy. But I tweeted at them asking if they were going to carry the plushies, and they said yes. Be on the lookout for them in stores. So Boxed Lunch will be carrying the Funko Disney Afternoon plushies, and I will use my coupon to purchase a Darkwing.
It's actually really refreshing to have a retailer actually know what you're talking about when you ask a question like that.
Well, that's like their whole thing, right? I mean, they should be the store that's able to answer that question.
Right.
Well, considering I didn't think we had anything to talk about, I believe that's going to cover everything for Duck merch. Glad you were here. So let's take a look at other news for the show. So at the very end of last month, the Disney Channel announced the next episodes for DuckTales. There will be 3 new episodes in June. Now, June June this year is going to have 5 weeks. So this week, this coming Friday, and next week, there will not be an episode of DuckTales airing on the Disney Channel. Not a new episode. But starting on June 16th, we're back to the Saturday morning schedule. And at 9:30 a.m., we should get a brand new episode titled Jaws. But the S is the $. Got a description here for you. The kids and Launchpad work together to capture a mystical money shark while Scrooge attempts to better his public image with a televised interview.
Oh, it's a Launchpad episode. That means it's going to be great.
He's my favorite.
I hope there's Jaws music. Dun-dun.
There is a promo floating around online. I believe it aired on the channel, but they don't always put their promos on their YouTube or online. So there's not an official, high quality version of it, but we have retweeted where someone recorded it with their phone or something. So you can watch that. It looks like a fun episode. It's also going to include Lena.
Oh, yeah.
And Magica looks like makes an appearance.
I haven't watched it yet. Is it Ghost? Not Ghost. She's not really Ghost. Shadow Magica?
Yes.
Still.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to find out if she's like stuck in that form or if she's utilizing that form to manipulate Lena, or if she's not manipulating Lena. I mean, I'm guessing she is. So that's Saturday, June 16th. Just so happens to be my birthday. I'll be celebrating with a new episode of DuckTales. And let me say, I was thankful. I was glad that the show had moved to Fridays. I know it was great for the show. It was great exposure. But I missed DuckTales on Saturday morning. We still got up on Saturday mornings and rewatched the episode. So I'm glad we're moving back to Saturday.
Yeah, it's kind of strange for it to be on a Friday. Like a kid's show, to me, seems like it would be on a Saturday morning lineup.
And Big Hero 6, the series, returns this week. So that June 9th is when the next episode of Big Hero 6 comes on. So it probably would be a Big Hero 6 DuckTales back-to-back episodes on the 16th.
I finally got to sit down and watch all of that premiere movie, The Return of Baymax, and that was really good. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. I was a huge fan of the movie and was totally excited to meet Baymax at Epcot. I was way more excited than my daughters were, and they were pretty excited. If you didn't know, I went to Walt Disney World recently. The next episode will be Saturday. It will be Saturday, June the 23rd. And this episode is titled The Golden Lagoon of White Agony Plains. I didn't say that right because there's always an exclamation point, but that's the title. And the description says, Scrooge reteams with his conniving... Let me try that again. Scrooge reteams with his conniving ex-partner and old flame Goldie O'Gilt to find a long-lost golden lagoon. But Glomgold has other plans. And this
Goldie episode, that's going to be a good one.
And
let me tell you, when they release the compilation DVD that has this Goldie episode, I'm sure that one of the classic DuckTales ones they include will be the Goldie from the classic DuckTales.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in one of the final episodes, so that would be a great one to be released. I don't know if that's on the DVDs that have already been released or not. That would be awesome.
No, that's good. It's always good to have those nostalgia episodes mixed in with the new stuff. So that's great. Mm-hmm. That's good timing for that.
So this also says Academy Award winner Allison Janney from Mom will guest star as Goldie. I'm not familiar with her.
Allison Janney.
I don't know the movie Mom either.
Well, she's done a lot of stuff, but trying to think of something she's more famous for.
What could she be more famous for than Goldie?
No, I mean like something that you may know, because like she was in Juno, she was in The Help, she was in I, Tonya. So she's been in quite a few things. But if you haven't seen the movie, then you haven't seen any of those. She was the mom in Juno.
Okay.
That mom, or no, the one that wanted dogs.
It's been a long time since I've seen Juno.
Trying to think of what else she's been in. She was in Finding Dory. It's Peach. I don't know what character that is.
Peach is the starfish.
Oh, okay.
Then on Saturday, June 30th, we have the episode Day of the Only Child. And this episode description says, when Dewey invents a holiday that allows the triplets to be only children for a day, each realizes they need their brothers more than they thought.
Man, I hope Launchpad's in that one. But yeah, that sounds good. I mean, that's the triplets. I feel like the Beagles boys are going to show up at some point. But it'd be good to have another episode focusing around them.
Yeah, we've had a lot of episodes that have focused a lot on the older characters recently, which, going into the hiatus, people were complaining we weren't getting enough of. So I'm still curious, and I keep meaning to tweet at Frank and ask him. I'm still curious if there's a production order that we can get at the end of the season to see what order we could have had the episodes in.
Yeah, maybe that's an end of the season question, so you only have to ask once.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask him, if he could tell us once the season's over what episodes they were created in, what the production order was. So, but yeah, 3 new episodes this month. A lot to look forward to. Starting June 16th, Saturday morning. Moving on to other news. So the next item we've got is about Season 1 of DuckTales being divided into 2 parts digitally. So this was a bit of a surprise. After our vacation, everybody Saturday morning we get up, we want to watch DuckTales. So we decided to watch McMystery at McDuck McManor. I still hate that name. And I love the episode though. And so we get up and I open up iTunes and the episode's not there, which seems strange. So I got to looking online to find, what's going on with this episode. Why isn't it loading? And when I did a quick search, it brought up in iTunes a Volume 2 for DuckTales. So it looks like, Volume 1, and I don't remember it being released as Volume 1, but the first half of Season 1 was released digitally as Volume 1 on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play. And it was originally like $30. Most of us purchased it, marked down. I got it at a great price. But now Volume 2 is up, and on iTunes it's $28.99 right now. But they've released the second half in a second volume. So it looks like we're looking at, about $60 for the full season. And I'm not really complaining about that. I'm fine with that. I think $60 for the full season is a reasonable price. I mean, we're thinking at least 24 episodes of DuckTales. But I didn't realize that was going to be the case. Now, thankfully, Amazon has it for $2.99 last I checked. So if you're hearing this and you haven't got the first volume yet, you can get the the second volume. You can get it for the same price as a single episode. Have you guys bought DuckTales digitally?
I haven't done many seasons or series digitally. I like to buy. I have a pretty big Disney, Marvel, Star Wars collection digitally, but I don't know. I like using the Movies Anywhere app, and these episodes that you buy aren't on there, so I haven't really dove into that yet. I do have a couple of series sets on like Blu-ray and things like that, but not digitally.
I tend to watch things digitally, but I think it was, I don't know, it kind of feels like it was an afterthought that they were like, oh, let's split the seasons up, because I'm under 100% sure that it didn't ever say, like, that when before they put it the part 2 that this was only like half a season. It seems like, oh, I think that's a little too much, or is it too little for the whole season? So let's split it up. That way we can get a little bit more money. That's what it kind of feels like. But I don't think that it was originally intended that way.
Yeah, I don't remember anything in the description saying that it was only half the season. But maybe it was Volume 1. I don't recall. I still would have thought it just meant Season 1. Maybe that was my mistake. But it's up. It's there. You can purchase it. If, I'm sure you've already figured it out by now if that's your only way of watching DuckTales. That, there's a reason why McMystery at McDuck McManor isn't loading. It's because you got to buy Volume 2. You can get a good deal at Amazon. We've got a link on the article that we put on DuckTalks.com. Since Frank likes to refer to our blog posts as articles, we'll do that too. All right, let's look at some other news. So we do have a short break, and Frank told us when we came back from the hiatus that it was the last extremely long break we should experience for a while. He did not say there would be no more breaks. So we do have a 2-week break. Not a big deal. We can handle it. Probably going to be some of the best content we've put out so far. But a couple of days later, Disney posted a DuckTales short. And Frank commented on that, while we've got, no new episodes going on, we're not going to be without content because we do have these shorts coming. We don't know how many there are, but we have so far received parts 1 and 2 online. I don't know if these are being aired on television or not, but I've watched them on YouTube, on the Disney Channel.
That's where I've seen them as well.
And they're really,
I mean, the 2 episodes so far, they're really cute. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but the second episode has one of our favorite characters in it.
With a great intro.
Launchpad.
Yes, it's Launchpad.
But it could be, I mean, I don't know how many, like you said, we don't know how many episodes there are, but eventually, if you add up, the first one was like 50 seconds. It was really short. And the second one was almost 2 minutes. So maybe if you eventually have all these episodes and they end right where the next one picks up. So
cliffhanger.
Yeah, this could be maybe a episode they chopped up in several parts for these shorts. So it could be like a bonus episode one day.
I thought one of the things said there were 5 episodes for the short, but I was trying to figure out where I saw that. I might be just imagining it in my head.
That could be. They did the...
Here it is. In the description, it says part 2 of 5.
Okay. So that's in the description on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got 3 more to go.
Yeah, so that'd be like a 10-minute episode if you put them all together, probably.
Would at least cover part of a storyline. And I mean, the title kind of gives it away. They're stuck in a death trap.
Have you seen the new Disney Channel identifications with the DuckTales cast? That kind of went live this week.
Yeah, I saw that online. I haven't seen it on the channel because I haven't been watching it much lately. But there is some compilations on YouTube. People have gathered them. I know
Frank was very proud and to bring those back because I haven't seen those in a while. So having the DuckTales cast do it was kind of cool. We know Donald would mess up with his, and they're cute as well. I could see that being a bonus feature on a future signature collection they're gonna make me buy.
I hope so. The ones for the kids are really dramatic and full of action, and I like that Donald's was very different. But it took me back to some classic Donald because I think back to all the times that he tried to steal Mickey's spotlight.
So are these ones referring to anything, or is it just like these are just in between segments just to promote the show?
Not so much the show, just the Disney Channel. Just so they'd be like, "You're watching the Disney Channel." Do 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 do. Like they take this wand and make a Mickey head or something.
Mm-hmm. There's actually on YouTube on the Disney Channel they have a wand supercut that has all the characters ones on one video.
Yeah, those we'll we'll see if we can find. I'd like to find. I like when there's stuff like that. I like to share the official instead of other people's.
No, there's this one's from the official Disney Channel, so you can put that one up.
Okay. Oh, well, we'll share that then.
And did you guys see all the Webby React stuff that they have on there too?
Yeah, the girls and I have watched those. We don't watch most of those shows that they were advertising with those, but the girls really enjoy Webby, so they loved watching her reactions to whatever's going on in those episodes. And it's kind of telling a story. She got a hold of a phone and she's watching the Disney Channel on it and getting into the shows. It's cool.
Yeah.
I feel like they're really, really, I don't want to say pushing because it kind of seems like that's a negative connotation, but they're really putting a lot of Webby content out there, and I really like that, especially with having girls, and she's a great character in the new show. I saw that Frank posted online on Twitter. He was commenting on something that was going on, and he was talking about how when they started doing the show, someone within Disney sent him a message that had information showing that DuckTales was a boys' show. It's hard to get girls to watch DuckTales, and that they would have a hard time selling the show to everyone. And so that's kind of become part of their focus, is that they want the show to be a good animated show for boys and girls, and not just for one or the other. So they've included Webby in a lot of things, and I think that's great. I like the character Webby, and I think it's important that DuckTales fans support that.
Yeah, I could see the Disney store putting out. They need to put out some Webby shirts and products to get more people into this new Webby character.
Yeah, a great example, because my girls were going to pick up that light blue or teal shirt that has all the characters. Webby's on it. But we were going to get that shirt for them, and they both said, "Oh, we want to wait on the Webby shirt." So we're just going to go ahead and order the Team Webby shirt for them instead. But it would have been great to have it right there in the store.
Yeah, I think those are not in the store because there's so much customization with those. In particular, the Team Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Webby shirts.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. And we'll eventually get all that stuff. I believe that. I think, the Zoom Zooms, every time I check, I can't get a complete set anymore. So those are definitely, doing well. They're having to move their inventory around to get them everywhere, fill their orders. So that's great. I know the plush, people are excited about the plush. I'll talk about it a little bit more here in a minute. But there were people buying DuckTales plush at Animal Kingdom. So, it's great. There's going to be a lot more stuff come out. So everything's good. That's all the news we have for DuckTales. We got a few things that we have to talk about. I guess one of the first things we could talk about, let's talk about that guest blog that we had.
One of our followers, Danny, posted she posts a lot about the Duck Avenger, and that is Donald's little superhero adventures that he has, and it predates Darkwing Duck and other superheroes. So this is a nice comic series, and so she posts these stories about it all the time. And I thought, you know what, I'd like to know more about this. I bet our listeners and our readers want to know as well. So I gave her an opportunity to do a guest blog, and it was pretty cool and successful. And we learned a lot about Donald Duck as the Duck Avenger.
Yeah, I read it while I was on vacation, and this was a character. I've seen the covers of some of the recent. I believe IDW's put out some issues, and she put in the blog that these are reprints, translations from an Italian comic, I believe. But she did a great job on this blog, and I learned about the character, learned everything I needed to know. I could pick up this comic, the recent, because I think, I'm trying to look here, I've got it open. There was first 6 stories have been reprinted by IDW, so should be able to get a hold of those. If not, if you can't find it in print, you can definitely get it at Comixology. But it looks like some good reads. I'm pretty interested in getting a hold of these. This is going to be a good Saturday morning read with me and the girls.
Yeah, I didn't realize that they were still publishing Duck Avenger in Italy. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, so it's an ongoing there, right?
Yeah, it says it's still in production. That's really awesome. That's really cool.
Speaking of Duck comics from overseas, Pyre, you've got a great story to share with our listeners about meeting Don Rosa and going to a comic book convention in your area.
Yes, Memorial Day weekend, the MegaCon was in Orlando, and it's a big comic convention with a lot of celebrity guests in both the comic world and TV world and movie worlds. And I saw that Don Rosa was going to be there. He is a comic book legend. He kind of took over for Carl Barks after on the Uncle Scrooge and Donald Duck comics. He's done 88 different comic stories about Uncle Scrooge and Donald Duck, and they're really great comics. And if I don't think it's kind of like most comics and Disney comics, and kind of like what happened to Darkwing Duck. These comics are not advertised like they should be to the audiences, and the people that read these are like, why didn't I not know about these? These are great stories. And Don Rosa is a legend. He's even more overseas, because overseas knows more about these Uncle Scrooge and Donald Duck comics than they know domestically. He's like the David Hasselhoff of comic people in Germany, I'm sure. But he's very popular in Italy and all the European countries. So he's got a really big following. And I got to meet him at the convention. I was very excited. And I bought some prints from him. And you can read all about that on the blog. So I won't go into too much details about it. But if you ever go to a convention and see that Don is there, you should definitely go see him and buy some of his art, because he is a national treasure and his art is fantastic. And he is definitely an authority on Uncle Scrooge and the boys. His idol is Carl Barks, so he knows all about that great Carl Barks style of those characters. And I could tell one more story. He has this really funny sign on his table at the booths. I guess it's funny and then also serious, but it's all about DuckTales, and his art is not DuckTales, and he doesn't want to be associated with the classic 1987 show or the new stuff. He had nothing to do with any of that. He wants everybody to know that the real Uncle Scrooge is from the comics, and that's where he came from, and that's what his sign's all about. So, I mean, I could see where he's coming from, because most people nowadays probably didn't know about the comics or from him or Carl. So they just see a bunch of Uncle Scrooge and Donald Duck and the boys, and they immediately think DuckTales, and they run and try to ask him questions and get excited about DuckTales, and I'm sure that would drive him insane. So
definitely, since he's not actually associated with the show.
He has nothing to do with it. So I'm sure that's his number one. I mean, most people would know those characters from Christmas Carol and DuckTales. So if you haven't seen the comics, you would have no idea. You would see this great artwork of Scrooge McDuck and Donald Duck. So. And I had to, because I'm an instigator, I had to bring it up. I had to talk DuckTales to him, which I tell the story in the blog. But I wanted to let him know that in the McMystery episode, there's that crossword puzzle or word search that Huey created for Scrooge's birthday, and one of the hidden words is his last name, Rosa. So I think that is an awesome tribute. And when I told him, look, I see your sign, but I really got to tell you something about DuckTales, I could tell his face was like, I'm gonna hurt you. So,
Which would have made for an awesome article.
it would have been great. I should have let him punch me, and then I could be like, I'm not going to wash my face. Don Rosa punched my face. But no, he's very friendly and awesome guy, and loves his artwork, and maybe he doesn't get enough credit. So maybe that's what the sign's about, that he did great work with this. The Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck is one of his. It won an Eisner Award in 1995. Mm-hmm. It's a 12 part story about Scrooge McDuck, and it is a great book, and it's out of print, so it's very hard to find anywhere. So
for less than $150 for sure.
You can buy it on eBay for $150, $200.
Yeah, but.
Yeah, so I told him about the word search, and he loved it. So I wouldn't talk DuckTales to him about, but he loved that story.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. I missed an opportunity to meet him last year. I didn't realize he was at Dragon Con. I found out that he was there after I left, so there was no chance to go back. Would have liked to have met him, but I would have been one of the ones that would have been kind of caught off guard by the sign and wouldn't have known what to say. But I think it's good for us as a community to really show him appreciation. I mean, I realize that sign's up because, people come up and say, "Oh, is this DuckTales?" And then what does he have to say? No, that this is the comic that came out before. And, I go to other conventions around the world and people line up for hours to see me, but you don't know who I am. I mean, that's an awkward conversation to have with someone when they walk up. So I think, if Don Rosa is going to be in your area, he's a great person to meet. His art and his prints, I mean, the stuff you got looks fabulous. I mean, I've seen some, pictures he's done, some quick drawings and sketches he's done for people at conventions that are really cool. He's someone that if you're a fan of DuckTales, you want to meet. But you just need to let him know that you appreciate what he has done and what he's created, and how what he created influenced something from your childhood or influenced something that you're enjoying with your kids. And, if you pick up some art, if he's got a trade there for sale or the comic, and just let him know that as a community, we appreciate him. Because his work's really good. I've read a few of the stories. I've not been able to read any of the collections as a whole, but I've read a few stories, and I like those old comics, and I like his comics, Carl Barks and Don Rosa's. That's a great blog. It's actually a two-parter. There was a first part, and the Don Rosa was part 2. So check that out at DuckTalks.com. I know Steven had a lot of fun at the convention, and you could read about his trip and his meeting with Don Rosa.
Yeah, you got to see my haul of all the prints I bought. I got 4 of them, so they look really cool.
So Saturday, the internet went crazy about news coming out of Disneyland Paris's inaugural FanDaze event, where there was a lot of stuff going on. I mean, there were stage shows, there were parades, there were, I guess, character greets. It was just a huge event, and everyone was going crazy because there was Disney Afternoon stuff, and there was Goofy movie stuff, which I still kind of consider part of the Disney Afternoon. I know it's probably not official, but
I think we should make it official. Maybe on this podcast and DuckTalks, we'll consider it canon for Disney Afternoon.
I think it should be. I mean, it's definitely the predecessor. That's the wrong word. Successor. It's definitely the successor of Goof Troop.
Yeah, it's kind of like the DuckTales movie, Treasure of the Lost Lamp. So It's Goofy movie, same thing.
Have you guys watched the live stream, or at least parts of it? It's pretty long. It's like 6 hours.
Oh gosh.
No, I caught the DuckTales parade because there was a parade dedicated to DuckTales, and I saw the Max Live show, which is about 24 minutes.
There's a lot of excitement online about this event because it had a lot of the really obscure characters that are fan favorites, which it seems to me that's what they were going for. I didn't look into this beforehand, so I was kind of caught off guard by all the news as it was coming out. I know we mentioned at one point that it was coming, and I know that we had heard that there was going to be something DuckTales, but I didn't realize it was going to be a mini parade, or I didn't expect the triplets to be there. So that was really exciting this weekend to see all that happening.
Yeah, I feel like they put a lot of money into this event. They invited a ton of Disney theme park bloggers from the United States to go over there. We didn't get an invite. Got lost in the mail. But
Sure.
they got invited to cover this event, and the bloggers and the YouTubers did a great job of covering it. I don't think we missed out on much. They had, like you said, all these obscure characters like Saludos Amigos and Three Caballeros characters. And all the Disney Afternoon ones were there. Tailspin Baloo and Louie, Rescue Ranger Chip and Dale, Goofy and Max, and Darkwing Duck and Launchpad. And then they had the cream of the crop was the DuckTales parade that they had, which was really cool. And the other really cool thing is with this whole event is they actually got the original voice actors to record new lines for the shows and the parades, which is really cool. Like I know Terry McGurvin does Launchpad, recorded some extra lines for his parts in the parade. And the DuckTales parade, it's not like a really long parade. It had a really good music, which we blogged about. Somebody online has the soundtrack for the DuckTales parade that you can find if you want to listen to it in your car or whatnot. But it was a couple of bike floats. So a cast member will ride a bike, and then it looks like a hot air balloon that had each one of the different characters from the DuckTales era. So they had Huey, Dewey, and Louie, which is really cool because they're rare characters that you don't really see walk around at the domestic parks. Mm-hmm. And then they had Launchpad. And then they had what I think is the coolest out of all of them is Donald Duck, but he was wearing the classic suit that he wore or the outfit that he wore in the DuckTales era in those episodes, which I've never seen before. And then they had Scrooge McDuck, and it was not the new red-coated Scrooge McDuck that you'll find at the domestic parks in California and Florida, but it was the old school blue Scrooge McDuck suit.
Yeah, and the artwork on the balloons, that's what they were themed to look like. The artwork was really great, and it included all of the characters from the show, from what I could tell.
Yeah, they had Magica and Gyro, and I think I saw Miss Beakley, Beagle Boys. It's something that we definitely would want in Animal Kingdom with that new Dino-bash.
I think Disneyland should get it first.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a rivalry.
It'd be great for Hollywood Studios because Hollywood Studios, back in the Disney MGM Studios days, used to have parades all the time. So, like, Hercules movie came out. They had a Hercules parade. A Mulan movie came out. Mulan parade. Aladdin movie. Aladdin parade. Dinosaurs, which is another one of my favorites. The ABC show that was made by the Muppets. They had a parade. So DuckTales would have been perfect for Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, I hope they do plan on bringing these out to the parks in the U.S. because this is something that I think a lot of people would love to go to and see. All these obscure characters. I was kind of briefly going through some of the pictures of them, and there are some awesome characters that they brought out that I don't think I've ever seen in some of the parks before, and I was really jealous that they had this available, and I feel like it's something that would bring a lot of people to the parks to go see.
A lot of people were really geeking out about the Max live show.
Mm-hmm.
Because Max was dressed up in his Powerline outfit from a Goofy movie, and that's never been seen before anywhere. So that's a big surprise. And
he did
I know
a few
lot of
songs
people-
from the soundtrack.
Yeah, they had it from the soundtrack, but also the original voice actor Max recorded him singing like Zootopia songs and songs from Emperor's New Groove and Lilo and Stitch. So they really did a great job of not of going all out for this event. So I think this was great for Disneyland Paris.
Definitely, and we definitely want to see more of this in the States as well. So I'm glad they got it. Now, this was an inaugural event, so it's something they're planning on doing annually?
That's what inaugural means, sir.
It means we need to all get ourselves out to Disneyland Paris, and we'll film live out there.
Hey, as soon as they send us the invite and some tickets, we'll be there.
We'll just start applying for press passes right now. We got a year to try for it, right?
Yeah, so we can be there for the next one when they do the new DuckTales stuff. Frank, can you get us in? We won't bug you about gold coins anymore.
I was about to say, I don't know. I want one of those coins.
Do you want a gold coin or you want to go to Paris?
Well, I feel like the gold coin would be cheaper for him to send me than to send me to Paris.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'll take the gold coin as well. I do feel like looking at this and a lot of the excitement around it and, just everything that was going on at Donald's Dino-bash, I see Disney trying some new things. There's not a lot of character shows. Earlier, I can't remember if it was just in May or if it's been for a few months. You can probably answer this, Steven. There was a Jose and Panchito was doing a show in Animal Kingdom where they came out, and it was kind of a street show where they were dancing around with people. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I feel like it's been a while since that has been there, though. A couple years.
It was going on for a couple of years?
Oh, a couple years ago is when it debuted. I don't think it was there for a while. It was probably seasonal.
Okay. I know I saw a blog on it not too long ago, so I was under the impression it was still there. I was surprised that it wasn't when we were there. But, with the Dino-bash going on, I kind of figured that was why. So, but it does seem like they're trying some things like that. And with, the interest online that we saw for, this event in Paris, I'd like to see more of this. The Dino-bash was phenomenal. It was amazing. I know when you went there, it was earlier in the day, right?
Yeah, I went right around noon. I ran around noon on the first day. So
we'll go ahead and get into this. Do you have anything else about the FanDaze?
FanDaze? No, it was really cool. One thing I think is lacking on was and Disneyland Paris seems to have has had this problem before, which merchandise. They really didn't have. I mean, they could have had so much DuckTales merch selling there, but it was really just a couple of pins and a lanyard that had FanDaze on it, and it was all Oswald merch.
They do tend to ease into stuff, print making stuff like that, don't they?
Yeah.
Maybe next year there'll be a ton of stuff out there, since it'll be yearly.
That's what I mean.
You got me there. So let's talk about Donald's Dino-bash. Man, I was excited to get a chance to do this. We had joked about it before about everyone else going to Avatar and me going straight there, but I was with a group of people on our trip, and not everyone wanted to run over there first, and I was okay with that. We had our fast passes to do and everything, so we went and did a few things around the park, and it was actually later in the day before we were able to get back towards Dino Land, USA. We came in because Lexi wanted to ride Everest again, and we ended up riding Everest 3 times while we were at Animal Kingdom, which was nuts, but it was a lot of fun. Man, that ride's awesome. But we walked over to Dino Land from Asia, so we crossed that bridge, and came in behind the carnival games. I don't remember what it's called. And there was Goofy. So that was our first meet and greet, was with Goofy. And then the girls wanted to play a few games, and my in-laws were with us, and so my father-in-law jumped at a chance to do the carnival games with them. And so we played some carnival games, and I was like, it's getting late. The characters are going to start, going in before much longer, because I think they were only out till 5:30. So we headed over to the character meet and greets, and the area is themed. It's the theming in the area is great. I mean, it's really festive. There's a lot of color. You can kind of see that they've just kind of put the Dino-bash emblem and stuff up over things. But I think that's kind of what they were going for in their story, because there's a story behind the Dino-bash in that Donald has decided to do this. And, he got the money from Scrooge, and Daisy was inspired to help him make some costumes. And then he got Goofy to help out with the carnival games, and Pluto showed up because of all the bones. And Chip and Dale have just kind of snuck in to have fun. And then Scrooge decided that since he paid for it, he'd show up, and Launchpad dropped him off. So that's kind of the story behind what's going on, why everyone's there, and that explains the characters that are at the meet and greet. But it's really fun because the atmosphere, especially in the evening, there was a DJ, and they were, the music was really loud, and they were playing DuckTales and all these songs that and it were exciting and quick beat, and it was just great. It was amazing. So we go and we get in line for Launchpad, and we're excited. My kids are fans of Launchpad. I'm a fan of Launchpad. And so we're standing there in line. We're just a few back, and he goes, he takes his break to go check on whatever they told us he went back to check on. And there's a guy there. His name's Jeff, and he works for Disney. He's a cast member, and he's just kind of walking around. He's dressed nice. He's got an umbrella, and he's talking with people in line. And so he's talking with the boys that's in line in front of us, and they're talking about Minecraft. And then he comes to my girls, and he asks my girls if they've ever played Disney Infinity. And they just light up, and they just start talking his ear off, because yes, they've played a lot of Disney Infinity. And so we're talking, and Jeff's just a very enjoyable guy, and we had a good time. And he was telling me about when he, he's been with the company for a while. He's been there a while, and he was talking about, getting to do different shows and stuff. And I don't know what he does there now, but I mean, he was just walking around talking with people. So maybe that's the thing they do. It's the first time I'd experienced it. And
well, if anybody that has nicely dressed with an umbrella, they're important.
Yes, he seemed important. So we had a great conversation with Jeff. He wished us well, and he went on. And because we were next to meet Launchpad. So we got to meet Launchpad. We had a fun time posing with Launchpad and chatting one-sidedly with him. But it was a lot of fun, And the girls were excited because they knew that Launchpad wasn't around all the time for people to meet. Or at least he wasn't before. And once we got done there, we went over and got in Scrooge's line. And there was, some people working the line there, some cast members. And so we were talking, and we were getting the sun stashes out. Now, if you've been following us, Pirate did an unboxing for the sun stashes that they sent us not long ago, because there's a DuckTales line coming out, and it's not out yet. I don't remember seeing when those are actually coming out. Do you know?
I believe you can order them online. I know Entertainment Earth has them. I think June is when they were going to start being in stock. Amazon has them in and out, but sunstashes.com has them for order as well.
Okay. Well, I pointed people towards Sunstashes because I had a lot of people asking me about them. I've got another story we'll tell some other time about Epcot. But, so yeah, we're in line. We're talking with people about the Sunstashes, and there's this guy there, and his name, I keep calling them guys and girls. There was a cast member there, and his name was Matthew. And Matthew was just kind of getting everybody ready to go up and meet Scrooge. And the lines were moving great. That was another part that was cool about the Dino-bash. There was a lot of people there, but we were all moving, and they were, talking with us and stuff. So he sees the Sunstashes, and he gets kind of excited. And there's this other cast member that's there, and she says, I've seen that Scrooge McDuck sunstache before. There was a really tall guy in here the other day.
That must have been a goofy guy.
But the girls were telling them about the podcast and about DuckTalks, and I told them, I was like, actually, that's probably one of my co-hosts. We do a podcast together, and he has been here. He's already met Scrooge, and so they get kind of excited about the sunstashes, and they ask us to do some additional posing with them, and they ask us to surprise Scrooge with them. So they kind of hide the girls. And Paisley ran up to Scrooge with his glasses on, and he carried on with her and put her, similar to what he did with you, he put her in his place and then went and got the next guest and walked them over to her and let them meet her. And, it was so much fun. Everyone was having a good time. They were all cutting up with us. We were having a great time. And so they scan our magic band, we're done. The next person's coming up. And Matthew grabs me and he says, "Hey, listen, hang out here for a minute." He goes, "Don't say anything because, I can't take everybody, but hang out here just for a minute." I was like, "Okay, that's kind of odd. I've never had anything like this happen to me at Disney. Am I in trouble for the sunstashes? These aren't supposed to be out yet, kind of thing." So I'm waiting to see what's going to happen. Is it a good thing? Is it a not so good thing? And we're all having a good time. And after the next couple of people, they were like, "Okay, Scrooge has to go back for a few minutes to do whatever it was. And he'll be back. Just wait right here." And they were like, Matthew walked over to the girls and said, "Do you want to escort Scrooge off the grounds?" And they were like, well, yeah. And he goes, "Why don't you put on your glasses and come on, we'll walk through." So they walked us through Dino Land, and we were kind of like, our group were kind of like a parade with Scrooge, and everybody's waving, and my girls are just, smiling ear to ear, waving at everybody as everybody's hollering, "Hey, there's Scrooge." And it was just amazing. And of course he starts dancing. So we're dancing down the street and we get to drop him off, and, he tells them bye and, everything. And it was a great time. And I'm talking to Matthew and just like, "Man, thank you so much. This has been awesome." And Jeff walks back up and Jeff's like, "What's going on here?" And Matthew's like, "Hey, they've got a podcast that they do for DuckTales. They're huge fans. Look at these glasses." And Jeff's like, "Well, I didn't know you had all this." He goes, "Have you all met any of the other ducks yet?" And we're like, "Well, we haven't gotten to them yet." He goes, "Come with me." So Jeff walks us around the Dino-bash the rest of the evening. I say that. It was like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. But he walks us around to meet and greet with the characters. We had such a good time walking around with them, and they just made it a huge party. It was amazing. I couldn't believe it. I started texting Pirate. I was like, "You're not going to believe what just happened at the Dino-bash."
You were kind of like VIPs there. They call those magical moments. So that sounds like a good experience that you can't really buy.
No, the girls will never forget that. Being able to walk Scrooge back, and it was just a phenomenal time. We had so much fun, and I went back because I couldn't think of Matthew's name. I remembered Jeff's name because he was with us for so long, but I ran back down and went and saw Matthew for a minute and just thanked him. And he was like, "Man, no thank you." He goes, "It's because of fans like you all that, every week talk about what we're doing and share with people and come out and support the parks and vacation here and, just do all this." He goes, "That's part of it too. We appreciate that you do that." And I was just like, I've never thought about that. We do a DuckTales podcast because we just want to talk about this stuff. We don't really think about it having any kind of impact on, the show or Disney as a whole.
Yeah, it sounds like an awesome experience. And I wish that they had something out here. We have like no DuckTales characters whatsoever right now. I
don't know. Y'all had that DuckTales Fan Fest with the script reading with the actors. So
yeah,
that's true. That was a good trade-off.
And then the Disney afternoon stuff that happened not long ago with Jim Cummings and Tad Stones there.
Yeah, so California gets its share. I'm sure there'll be some kind of meet and greet with Scrooge and Launchpad at some point. So it's cool that Scrooge is wearing his red coat like we were talking about earlier. Launchpad, it looks like it's the same character from the classic show, so not really the different to match the new series, but people love being reintroduced to these characters.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always a good plus. There's a lot of great details in the sets for the meet and greets. I detailed the Scrooge McDuck one in a blog entry. You can catch that on DuckTalks.com. But it's great. They'll have like the life and times of Della Duck will be hidden in the library or a bookshelf to the right of Scrooge. And he's got a big bulletin board with all these little cool Easter eggs all over it with DuckTales paraphernalia. So that is really cool as well. I love that they added this to Animal Kingdom. I think it's a great place for it. Mm-hmm. You mentioned the sun stashes. I think when I was walking around in it, I heard other cast members going like, "Oh my gosh, we sell that? That is so awesome!" And I'm like, "No, y'all don't sell this, but you should."
Yeah. We had I had a lot of people. I had people in line asking me, and I had, even when we were walking Scrooge back, I had one mother who wasn't far. She said, "I've never seen those. Where do you buy those?" I was like,
right.
Sunstashes.com.
Yeah, and I've been passing off that feedback to our contacts at Sunstashes, so I'm sure they really appreciate us walking around with them. But yeah, if you have a chance to go to Animal Kingdom, don't pass up. I know they have Avatar and the Safari. And
but
Everest.
You can't do anything over there. It's too busy.
It's too busy.
Just go to Dino Land.
You need a break. You need a party. Go to the Dino-bash to see Scrooge and Launchpad and Donald Duck and all the characters. You want to talk about merchandise?
Yeah, it was great seeing the plush, the new DuckTales plush in the park. That was about all there was. No, it really is. So there's not a lot of merchandise there yet. I was honestly, being a Donald fan, back in 2015 when I went, the only thing that I came back with was a Donald hat. So, I was hoping to find a little bit more, but it was really great seeing those new DuckTales plush in Animal Kingdom. It was at the Boneyard cart. I've also seen since then, I've seen pictures of them in one of the stores, but I either didn't walk in that store or just didn't see them. There's also those duck bills that make the quacking noise. They had those at the cart, and then they had the classic Donald and Daisy, and of course the signature books, because they're it's a huge meet and greet area for character signings and experiences. So I think it's a good start. I'm hoping to see some more.
You bought a Darkwing Duck pin, and you're not a pin guy.
That is correct. Now, my girls got into pin trading while we were there.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we, they had their own money, so they got to spend their money on what they wanted. And they both really liked the idea of the pin trading, so they bought a little introductory set. And when they went around for their first time, there were people that when they found out it was their first time, they gave them pins.
Oh.
Yeah, so they've got a ton more pins than we bought. When I say a ton, they both have, I don't know. I think they bought like 3 each. No, they both bought 4 each, and then they've probably got 6 or 7 that they left with. So it was a really cool experience because pin traders like it when there's new pin traders. But yes, I bought the Darkwing Duck pin. Haven't figured out what I'm going to do with it yet, but I have it.
Yeah. Well, you have to wear that on your lanyard when you go to D23 next year.
Well, and that is what I said. I said that I needed it for a lanyard when I go to conventions. So it will, I'm still hoping to make it out to Dragon Con again this year, and I'll meet the Darkwing crew, and I'll have my pin. That's going to do it for us this week. Great to be back with a full episode. We had a lot to talk about. It seems to happen when there's no episodes of DuckTales. But, next week we'll also have an episode where we will, be talking about other things.
I'm excited that you graduated from college so that you can do some more blog entries.
Yes, take some of that pressure.
Be kind of manning the site while you're finishing school. So
And you've been killing it, man.
Ooh, it'd be good for a little break there.
No doubt. I told my wife you would be relieved when I was back, because you've been cranking them out.
Trying, man, trying.
I want to know when we're gonna get the next crib.
Yeah, we need another crib
I
vlog.
was thinking about doing Fenton's office.
Oh man, you got to.
That might be one of the future ones.
We'll have to take a peek at that, see if we can find any Easter eggs.
There's a lot of cool details in there. I just gotta figure out what it is.
We'll get to work on that.
I mean, there's a toilet, and then there's
The toilet.
And you know, we've got a lot of stuff we've talked about that we want to do, so I'm looking forward to having the time to put into doing a few things for the site, and also for the podcast. It's going to be fun. All right, that's going to do it for us this week. Until next time.
Are we supposed to say goodbye?
Bye.
No, I can just say until next time.
Until next time.
With the
Yeah. DuckTalks is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Any sounds, music, or audio clips played on this podcast are the property of their copyright holders. Yeah, so... Man, that live show scares me to death. Okay. DuckTales Destination... Anyway, that may get cut. All right, let me get back on where I was.
1 second, because I accidentally closed the
Oh, that's okay. Never mind. All right, because I'm not recovering that. That is getting cut. Check your local listings. I can't talk. My nose is stopped up, if you can't tell.
We'll edit that part out.
Yeah. Josh agrees.
I
agree. Sorry, I have my thing on
I'm
mute.
reading Josh's tweets on Twitter.
It's because this dog keeps barking, so I keep putting myself. Oh, you hear it?
Oh, so you've just been muting so that the dogs...
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I get it.
And I forget that I'm on mute.
And you start talking, and it's totally... And you're like, why do they keep talking over me? Yeah. Okay, you can mute for a second for me. All right, I'll edit that part out.